Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and we are going to be doing a should you summon for the new Legends Limited Gotenks. You thought you wouldn't get a Legends video out of me, did you? But we're back, we're still here, we never actually left. This new Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, I've got a lot of interesting opinions about him, and I can't give you a clear-cut answer where I usually could, or I could pretty much just tell you to save. But I do have some thoughts on him, and I think you should very much listen to what I have to say in this video. We'll be going through precursors of things that you should just consider in general. We'll be going through his kit. I summarize it, but if you want to read his whole kit, it's available on the Legends official website, dble.net. And then after that, I'll be giving whether I think you should summon on it from an objective point of view, not if you like the unit or not, but based on whether I think he's good or not. And then on top of that, I'll give whether I'm summoning at the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. Let's get into this. So here are the precursors that you should consider before you summon or even think about summoning. First of all, we are a month away from the festival, and more than ever, there's a hype going on right now. I don't know if you care about Daima, but Daima, as episodes come out, will be sure to get something. But there's no guarantee they'll get something now, next month, or even in January. Daima will be going on, I believe, until March, so we have a lot of time. Even the Daima Goku banner is there until 2025 March, the 31st. So, in general for Daima, there's no guarantee on when we'll get something. It just depends on what releases per episode as they're coming out weekly. But that's just something you should be concerned about in case they do drop something insane. Vegito as a kid Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, we don't know. Also to point out that it's very possible that they drop an Ultra before the festival. They've been rerunning Ultras very consistently, so if they drop an Ultra for Majin Buu Saga, potentially Ultra Majin Vegeta, who I know a lot of you guys are a big fan of, you would want that guy over this Gotenks if you think this Gotenks is also good. In general, I always advise that you have Chrono Crystals for the festival though. The festival is probably the biggest event in the year. It's definitely more fruitful than the anniversary, but overall, just having Chrono Crystals for the festival is valuable because they drop hype characters. Full stop. The characters in the festival are gonna outclass any characters that we've seen throughout this whole year. That's usually the case, so you should have some Chrono Crystals ready for it at least. I advise above 20,000, but even if you can get at least 10,000, because we only have about a month left, that's good enough. And outside of that, there's always no need to summon straight away. Take your time, watch showcases. There'll be content creators that are willing to take the fall for you. Do showcases, you see how they look. Even if you don't trust the showcases from the content creators, you can just wait like a week, and then you'll see how the unit is being used in PvP. If you don't see them often, you should assume they're just not good enough, so people didn't start using them. Because there's always a lot of people that will spend money on the game and get every single character, but only use the characters that are really good, aka the meta slaves. That's all I've got to say for the precursors. Let's get into the kit. Okay, so here we are with the Gotenks kit summary. I'm gonna just scan through it and point out things that I think were very, very important. But if you want a quick overall view of what I think of his kit, I think his kit is okay, but he has some insane things you'll want to see. First, we gotta go into the element. He's a red type. Just so you know, he's a range type. He's a red range type. Personally, I don't know how to feel about the range type, but dropping him is a very good option because of the kids part. You know, they're going to be dropping a lot of Daima units, and obviously all of them are kids, so yeah. Tags: Hybrid Saiyan, Kids, Fusion, Fusion Warrior, and Super Saiyan 3. They didn't make him a transforming unit or a synchro unit, just to put that out there straight away. He's obviously from Majin Buu Saga. Looking at his Z ability, I don't usually read this part, it's not really that big of a deal to me, but it is because he's a range type unit. So we have here, he can buff Majin Buu Saga, Hybrid Saiyan, and Fusion Warrior, base strike and blast defense, so I think he has some defensive capabilities, hopefully, but as in stats wise. But he does have some healing that we'll get into later, but he also has the 18% to episode Majin Buu Saga blast attack during battle, so if you want to get advantage of this and you're not running him on Majin Buu Saga, you gotta put him on the leader slot. Referring to the strike and blast, he restores vanish engage by 10% upon activation on both of those. So every single strike and blast, if you vanish and you do a combo, you'll be getting your vanish back, and at the end of that combo, you'll probably be able to get your vanish back pretty much straight away, which is pretty good. The blue card deals massive impact damage. He goes type neutral on pressing it, so he'll be able to do damage to even those that are blue, and this is every time, so unless your buzz get cancelled, you don't have to worry pretty much. Also here, applies the following effects to self on hit. He has 60% chance to reduce Dragon Balls by 1 and 20% chance to inflict faint. If unique gauge is full, plus 40% special move damage inflicted for free, timer counts upon activation, and he also gets blast armor, but only on the gauge being full. So if your gauge isn't full, you're not gonna have that blast armor, which I don't know how to feel about that, but that's just something that is, you know. The 40% damage inflicted is good though. If we look at his green card, draws one card when pressing it, random new card, you don't know what it's gonna be. Restores own key by 50, gets 60% vanishing back, so his vanish recovery is gonna be pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. He already gets 10% for every strike and blast, and if he gets a green card, his gauge is gonna be pretty much full. 100% to unique gauge charge rate for 10 timer counts, cannot be stacked. Destroys 3 of your enemy strike cards. 3 of your enemy strike cards. I don't know how to feel about that. I think it should have just been like 3 cards or 2 cards, but melee teams are inconvenient to deal with, so we will see. Here it says if the unit gauge is full, you get 30% damage inflicted, which is going to come in handy. Notice all of the damage inflicted in this guy's kit. There's a lot of numbers going up here. But the green card, if the gauge is full, is going to give him Cover Note. Cover Note is super useful, and obviously if you want to combo people for long with the addition of getting your Vanish back, you're going to need Cover Note. So I like that he gets that from his green, but the condition is that his gauge is full. His ultimate art here deals massive impact damage. You get 30% damage inflicted, ultimate damage inflicted. Destroys all of your own arts cards upon activation, and applies the following effects itself based on the type of arts card destroyed. Now, note all of these cannot be stacked, but they also can all be cancelled. So obviously, depending on who you're ulting, for example, Ultimate Gohan, these things are gonna basically disappear. Just keep that in mind though. So you get strike cards damage inflicted 50%, blast arts damage inflicted 50%. Now what I will say with these two is they're kind of useless to a degree because you can only take advantage of it after your ultimate either hits or misses. So once you press your ultimate, if you land it, cool. Then you get 10 timer counts of strike and blast damage, depending on if you had one each in your deck when you destroyed all your cards. But then you have to get another priority to get use of that strike damage. The strike damage is a lot and the blast damage is a lot, but you have to capitalize on it. Similar to Ultra Super Vegito back in the day with his strike counter, you get Cover Note off that, but then you have to get another priority to take advantage of that, which isn't going to be the easiest in some cases. But these two are super good. So if you got a blue card and a green card, the blue card specifically, minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut effect is actually really good, so you can do more damage output. And this one here, the critical is just mid, man. I'm not gonna lie. So in general, if you're gonna use the ultimate, it's good to have a blue card in hand, and you're gonna get 4 new cards anyway, so you don't need to worry. But the best scenario for you to have is to have 1 of each card: 1 strike, 1 blast, 1 blue, 1 green, and then you'd be able to get all of these buffs out of 1 ultimate art, which is obviously good. Blast armor when charging forward, that's naturally as well, there's no conditions on that. The main ability here randomly destroys 1 of your own cards and it forces the ultimate arts in. The randomly destroys part is kind of annoying because I find that if my randomly destroyed card is a sealed card, I can't use my ultimate now, but whatever. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards, and restores own health by 30% and ki by 50%. Health and ki is always good, and cards is always good. But what the main thing is, two main things. He goes type neutral, generally for 10 time accounts. But then he also nullifies endurance off of his main ability. Now, nullifying endurance off main ability, I find is a lot more effective than doing it on the ultimate art, because you'll be able to override the fact that some people cancel buffs. So even though everything in his main ability is cancelled, you're able to override endurances or people that have endurance and nullify cancel buffs, because you can just get them out with strike and blast, similar to what Ultra UI does and Corrupted Zamasu when he's Zenkai'd. You can make very good use of that, especially fighting the likes of Ultimate Gohan. Going into the unique ability 1, he has a shortened timer count of 2 by default, so every time you switch him out, it's only 8, which is pretty good. Here we just get the damage, the basic damage buffs and defense buffs and draw speed that pretty much everybody kit has. But the thing I want you to note is 140%. Now, before I go further in the unique ability, they say that up here he can get up to 270%, but it's actually more than that. 270 is already insane, and I want to tell you right now that Gotenks is looking like the highest damaging unit in the game. We haven't seen damage inflicted in a kit like this since like Zenkai Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. And as a result of that, if his stats are really good, this guy could easily be the most damaging unit in the game. He'll be overriding even blue units because he goes type neutral a lot. So that's just something to note. But let's go back to reading the unique ability 1. I'll talk about that more later. Applies the following effects to self from battle start for 100 timer counts. Now, he is kind of nerfed because he's only super good for 100 timer counts, but that is just to protect him because he's red, but he also gets extra damage inflicted. So he gets 30%. So bear in mind we was at 140 here. We're going to get to an extra 30%. That's 270. Increases draw speed, so you're going to have more draw speed. So you got 2 levels of draw speed for 100 timer counts. Minus 5 arts cost. 20% health restoration. 50% unique gauge charge rate, cannot be cancelled. Nullifies unfavorable element factors for damage sustained, cannot be cancelled. Nullifies attribute downgrades under normal conditions, cannot be cancelled. Now all of these are good because this one here, if he's nullifying everything that can be affected, that can affect him, super good. So he won't be able to see some weird status effect. That's dope. Then he's also going to be type neutral, so blues that thinking you're going to damage him for the first 100 timer counts, nah. Then on top of that, He's just getting the damage inflicted and draw speed. So yeah, the cost and stuff is good, and the health restoration is actually good, 20% more if you want to build him based on HP. All of that is really good, and I like that this is the one section where there's a lot of not cancelable stuff. Going forward, the following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield: restores on health by 15% and ki. So that's every time. Every time you enter the battlefield, 15% HP. So building this guy based on health restoration is looking like a good move, because this guy, he's going to be quite unkillable if his defenses are also good stat-wise. 100% damage inflicted, activates once, cannot be cancelled. Just the additional when he enters the battlefield. So we was already at 170 because of this for 100 timer counts, and then 140 because of that. We're now at 270, which is what they're talking about. But he's not done. That's what's crazy. So it says here, reduces impact, explode, and slice damage, recedes by 10% for 10 timer counts, applies the full effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 5 timer counts, destroy one enemy strike and special move arts card. The following effects occur when this character performs a vanishing step here next. So randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws a special arts card next. I believe that's the green card. The special arts card, you get that 3 times every time the enemy, when you perform a vanishing step, so when you vanish, you get a green card right after, and that's super good because we know that the vanishing, the green card is a same thing that can get your vanish back, so you can benefit from that. And then if your gauge is full, you can also get cover null, which is nice, and some damage inflicted, 30%. So what we looking at now? 300. Cool. Let's keep going. We got more. Destroys one of your any strike arts cards and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -1 arts card draw speed level. So they're gonna have less draw speed for 5 timer counts. So it's gonna basically shorten their combo. Gotenks really hates strike cards for some reason. Unique ability 2. He's got a strike cover change and he can combo the blue card into it. Charges on unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card while they are on the battlefield. The following effects occur once unique gauge is full. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. Restores own ki by 50. Plus 20% damage inflicted, which cannot be cancelled. Effects reset after character switch. Plus 10% damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Very good. So this can activate 5 times, right? Which is insane. Insane. So it can activate 5 times, and because it can't be cancelled, you're getting another 50. So we're at 350. 350. This as well, we're at 370. Absurd. Here, applies the attribute upgrade -4% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. -4 is a weird number, but cool. But it can activate 5 times. So that's actually pretty dope. You're getting 20% at the max. Seals enemy strike and special move arts. This guy hates strike arts, bro. The sealed arts cannot be used for 5 timer counts. I think this is overall really good as well. If own unique gauge is full when this character switches to standby, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards, and plus 50% to next arts card damage inflicted. So we was at 350, right? And then if your next damage is going to do 50%, that next card can be up to 400%, which is crazy. He's also going to restore ally health and ki by 50. It also says here he has endurance, so he's going to get more health once he reaches 0, and he's going to get 30% back. He also gives 30% to damage inflicted. So what was that, 350? I think if you include this, I believe he can apply it to himself. So if it's allies, it includes himself. That's 380 right there, which is insane. So overall, it's damn near 400, bro. But 380, you know, if you're including stuff like this blue ultimate arts, you see this extra 50 that you can get from one of each. We're at 380. That will go to 430, which is insane. And then you also get the cut here, 50%. So it's damn near 480, which is absurd. Just overall absurd. So yeah, a lot of things in his kit are cancelable, but his damage inflicted isn't, and he's going to be super powerful, especially for that first 100 timer counts. But yeah, I'll give my opinion now that we've read his kit. So here's my opinion, and also whether I think it's worth for you to summon. Now, first of all, I'm going to give my opinion, and it's a very 50-50 opinion. I think this guy has the most insane stats in this game, but we haven't seen his actual stats in the game. What I mean by that is his damage inflicted and the way he gets buffs. He's going to be doing some absurd damage. Like, I'm talking ridiculous. Just off those percentages in his kit alone, it's looking very scary. This guy is going to be the most damaging unit in the game. Right before the festival, they knew what they were cooking with this guy, and they were looking to take your chrono crystals with the damage inflicted. His kit in general, a lot of things can be cancelled, but it depends on how you utilize it, and you can get a lot of benefits from it. He has a lot of type neutral, so don't say blues are going to slam him. He's got a lot of type neutral as well. He can get his vanish back consistently, gets cards drawn in. It's a lot of good stuff that allows you to continue fighting without switching out. He can be a very good 1v3 unit, and he also has endurance, so he's being a good survival unit for the team. Overall, I think he's quite good. The issue is, I think after 100 time accounts, you're not going to be feeling as strong. And with these teams that have a lot of survivability, fair enough, they're on the boost right now. After they're off the boost, it might be a different deal. But Gotenks, because he's a damage demon, he could get power crept. And I think if he gets power crept, the rest of his kit isn't that great. And the timing of it being right before the festival is very, very shaky. Overall, I think he's a unit that is worth summoning for. I think he's valuable. But it depends on his stats. Emphasis on the stats. We don't know what his numbers are going to be looking like in-game. If the numbers in-game are below mid, those percentages in the kit are just there to deceive you. Genuinely, I dead ass believe that so wholeheartedly. His kit is not overwhelming, but it is good. So I want to say, give it time. Give it 2 or 3 days, see how PvP is moving before you decide to summon. I can't give you a guarantee because we haven't seen the physical stats in game, and I think that's going to make or break the Gotenks experience. But what I will say in addition to that, generally speaking, Gotenks is on a good team with Majin Buu Saga with Ultimate Gohan. I think that's going to be a very good team. Hybrid Saiyan is going to be a very good team. You can run him with Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who's also a good factor to take out Turles, who a lot of people don't like. People have been saying Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan could be making a return. There's Gotenks is ranged. Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is ranged. Ultimate Gohan is just so good you can put him on any other team. So overall, this Gotenks has good additions to his team, especially with him having endurance. So overall, I think he's going to be a good asset. But I think the main thing is his stats. If his stats aren't good, he's just going to be an endurance unit, and he's going to get even worse after 100 time accounts. You should avoid him in that case scenario. So just to conclude, I think he's going to do insane damage. I think his kit is good, but not something overwhelming. He has a lot of good key points, which keep him in the game for long. And if his stats are good, he's going to be one of the best units in the game. But for now, I can't say that because of the physical stats. So I advise that you guys wait before you decide. But also consider your Chrono Crystal count with the festival literally being a month away. It's not an easy decision to put out there for you guys, but it is what it is, you know. So take it easy. Hopefully you can make a decision of what I said. Usually I can give you a straight, this unit's not worth it, or I don't think this unit's worth it. But with Gotenks, it's really going to depend on his physical stats in game, the numbers. That's my thoughts on whether I think you guys should summon, how you should go about it. Ain't got nothing more to say. Whether I'm summoning, yes, I'm summoning. I'm not summoning because of his kit. I'm not summoning because of his element. I'm not summoning because he's a fusion warrior. I'm summoning because I like Gotenks. I just like Gotenks. Hoorah, Gotenks. That's my sole reason for summoning. This guy could be the worst unit in the game, and I would summon. That's it. I play the game based on enjoyment. Some of you guys can't get over that. Some of you guys are so stuck in the mud about this game with like meta slaving. Sometimes, obviously, I do talk about the value of units in the meta, but it's not everything to me. I have 30,000+ Chrono Crystals, even 40,000 Chrono Crystals right now, and I wouldn't have that much if I was summoning on every unit, because there's been a lot of good units that I've dropped. Turles, Triku together, they're very good. Omega Shenron, and I've skipped them just because those units just don't appeal to me. That's the bottom line for it. I like Gotenks, so I'm summoning, but I also hope that he's good. Based on my explanation, I think he has potential. That's it. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be summoning or skipping? Me personally, I already said I'm going to be summoning, but if you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.